So here we are, part 2 of the podcast with the amazing Johann and Rachel. And I'm about to be with my delicious friend and client, and 2 more are inside. We're going to be going to see Trevor Hall. And I thought that you were just going to come for dinner.
And then I just got a ticket.
She just got tickets, so she's going to be with us too. It's going to be so fun. So
we're going to dance.
We're going to dance. We're having a blast.
We're going to have a blast.
We are.
We're going to eat good food.
We are.
Life is good.
Life is amazing.
Life is amazing.
I love you.
I love you.
Yeah, these are my family. We just get better and better together. So as you go into part 2 of this podcast, I hope you watched part 1 and just feel into what it was like to watch their, not just their love, but their willingness to take ownership, their willingness to do daily practice, their willingness to...
She's not talking about me right now.
I'm not actually. We're still working on it, you and I.
Yeah, we're still figuring that out.
But this couple does the work, this co-devotional relating. Whatever wakes up within you, if it triggers you, let it trigger you. If it inspires you, let it inspire you. And definitely enjoy this part 2 with Johann and Rachel. We love you. Mwah.
I'm inspired to eat Coastal.
Yeah, we're going to go to Coastal for dinner. We're going to go right there.
We're inspired.
Yes, okay. Mwah. Welcome to Intimate Conversations. Become the one. Intimacy is an inside job. My line is like, I'm pretty sure I'm batshit crazy, but this is what I'm feeling. It brings some levity and humor, and gives me permission to say what I'm so terrified to say. Has it ever been when the person shares? To me, if there's nothing there, you just like listen and everything's fine and you're the space. But if there is something there, you're like, oh, there's like a thorn. It was another blind spot. Holy shit. I didn't even see that. But here it is. My partner, my greatest spiritual teacher, is showing me there's a little thorn there that they just poked. So how in the receiving of this communication, so that's the first part, the speaker, but the receiver, the listener is just as important. How does that sound go?
So we usually depends on the intensity. We like to feedback first. First of all, we thank the other person for expressing. That's the biggest thing, is like, thank you so much for having the courage and the willingness. It was very uncomfortable. Thank you for expressing. Let me just get it right. This is what I heard, and you repeat it back, and then the partner can correct. And then you get to go like, okay, whatever that is inside of you, if there is some truth to it, you might say something like, I'm actually really, really grateful that you brought this forward. And yet a part of me has been feeling triggered or disconnected or fearful or whatever else. And there are times when, especially in the past, when I didn't feel myself as well yet, I would be like, my love, maybe there is something. And in this moment, I can't even know if it's this or that. However, I'm really grateful that you brought it forward. Let me marinate a little bit. Then you would like percolate, and whether it would take a few minutes or a few hours or sometimes longer, it would rise to the surface, because my padding was so thick that I couldn't access things right away. It's changed now. But it took time. And so I want to just say to your audience and the people that are watching this is if you can't access things right away, just receive the message, let it percolate, and it'll at some point touch something. Because if your partner's feeling something, there's likely something. She often feels things way before I do, even though it's my thing to feel. And so one of the partners tends to be the more sensitive one. I've now learned to trust Rachel's intuition so deeply. In the beginning, I was like, you're wrong. No, now I'm like, that's interesting. Let me feel into that. And so learning to trust your partner and their guidance when you're in a healthy relationship, when you're not, dating a psychopath or a narcissist, or
And I also think that, like, for the receiver, we've also both made an agreement that I am growth oriented. I want to evolve. I want to expand. I want to experience myself at my most expressed, highest, expanded always. And so if someone is showing me something about myself, thank you so much. And so I think that both of us, and I think that was at least for me, that was a huge permission slip or liberation of no longer needing to be afraid of my blind spots or my shadow, but to learn about them and to use them, like you expressed, as gifts. And so if anyone is giving me a reflection, I will feel if there's some truth in it. And if there is, thank you so much. And when you can, I really believe, like you said, when we can own it, then it's so empowering. It actually gives you energy. It actually fuels you. And when you're in full ownership, it's so incredible for the person, the people, whoever it is. It's a constant up level versus thinking someone's giving you a reflection or
reprimanding you or
or criticism, that it's actually supporting you.
Totally. I so respect each of your individual work to be able to receive that. Because if you don't have an intimate relationship with your wobbly parts on the inside and can stay connected to yourself, and someone says that, the separation on the inside becomes a big old separation on the outside. And I think ownership is one of the sexiest things. When I can watch someone sit in the fire and own it and not justify, I just like bow. Just like the way it started within me as I learned how to look at my most disgusting parts and go, oh, isn't she lovely? She's doing her best. She's doing her best, right? It's like such a gorgeous homecoming. And then to share that in partnership is exquisite. I just feel like, could you just, this is me just being completely selfish right now. Can I hear what it sounds like to appreciate one another's bravery or nobility or softness or strength? Like, how do you in the day kind of honor each other and appreciate each other? It's partially selfish on my behalf, but also I think doing the work is so important, but so is praise and filling each other up and nourishing each other into overflow. So what does that look like, sound like in your world?
We appreciate each other.
Constantly.
Nice.
Constantly. It is such a
my main thing is we have a practice that we do every day. That's a specific practice, but I basically spend most of the day going, who's my little baby? Who's the cutest, most beautiful little baby in the world? Who's the sexiest, most delicious one? And she goes, me. And then I'm like, who is the cutest smile? Who do I love the most? Me. And so it's constant, and
we do it constantly,
literally all the time.
So good.
And then we go on walks most days. And if we don't do it on a walk, we'll do it on a drive. Or if we're not doing it on a drive, we'll just do it. And it's this gratitude / really putting in your body practice of all the things that we're already grateful for. I'm gonna just give you a little snippet, which is like, I'm really loving the feeling of being your husband. I'm really loving the feeling of creating this life together, loving the feeling of how intimate and connected we are. I'm really loving the feeling of seeing your face like this and what it does to my body and just giggling together. And we'll go on and on and on. Literally like 30 to 40 minutes per person. And so we literally bathe in this every single
we believe this
day.
Is like the secret sauce. Like 90% of our time is spent in gratitude for each other and really appreciating each other, and even
elevating each other,
even the smallest things of like, if he thanks me for cooking dinner, even though I cook dinner every single night, I thank him for doing the dishes, or if I've made the bed, or if he came down and he's done this whole setup. Oh my gosh, baby, thank you so much for doing it. So it's like constant acknowledgement, which I think that is so overlooked and is so easy, and it feels so good.
I want to throw in, it's for some of our clients, it's not easy. When we say to them like, hey, so in one of the practices that we teach is in the middle of a contraction, when you're really going at it, pause, sacred pause, and go into what are 3 things you're grateful for in your partner. And some of our clients have to look so hard. They're like, and it'll take like minutes of finding like one thing, and we're like, how is it so hard? And then their culture, their lineage, where they come from, there hasn't been any appreciation, any acknowledgement. You're never good enough. And so you're not, that part of your brain isn't activated. And so you're always just seeing what's wrong, where the problem is. And so
take each other for granted.
And this practice is so vital and life-giving. And we literally, we have had people in our lives who get almost like disgusted, like
I was gonna say,
uncomfortable.
you guys are making me want to vomit, but I'm just
There's
like drinking it in. I'm like so happy.
I've had friends be like, I don't think this is real. And now one of my closest friends is in a beautiful partnership with this amazing man. And she was like, I get it now. What you're experiencing, because he's constantly and she's constantly, they're just adoring each other and loving each other. And I'm like, yeah, it's like the most incredible currency in the universe. So life-giving.
Yeah. I remember once interviewing a woman. She'd been married 40 years, and there was this big, beautiful bouquet of flowers behind her. And I commented in the interview, and she goes, "That's what my husband got me. I love you so much." And they've been together 40 years. And she goes, "No, I tell him every day I love my flowers. Like I go for 40 years. She goes for 40 years. And he tells me how beautiful I am for 40 years, every single day, all day." So what is it? So we saw what it looks like for the feminine to watch you drink in his praise was just so beautiful. What does it sound like for the feminine to praise the masculine in a way that really works for the two of you?
Well, okay, I'll do it in practice. I'm so grateful that I get to be your wife. I'm so proud to be your wife. You have the most kind, loving, generous heart. I adore the way that you see me and you love me and you cherish me. I feel so seen by you and celebrated and worshipped. You're so strong and sexy and kind, and the way that you love the world is literally like a life-giving sun. It's so incredible to be in the wake of your presence.
Don't make me cry.
I love it. I'm crying too. It's so good. And it's so real. And I can feel you receiving it. And I can feel it in my body. My body's like coming alive, just witnessing you. It's a gift to the world, you guys.
Yeah.
It's, I had
we feel that. And you know what? If you're in our sphere, we are enlisting you in this process.
Well, I clearly, yeah.
It's like we're doing it because it's amazing what happens to the body. It makes me emotional as well. It's like we're so thirsty to be seen and received and loved, and it's actually so easy when you start doing that muscle. And I
wanted to say that one of the big things, especially for men and also for some women, but men especially, and especially my culture, there's banter, right? Guys do banter. And so if you're given a compliment, you don't, if a dude is like, "Hey man, you're looking good," you're like, you kind of brush it off. Because if you go like,
"Fuck you, dude," like you almost
thank you, like that's beautiful. It's almost like, what are you gay, or like what's going on here? Like because like boys aren't taught to receive compliments in the beginning. For me, even if somebody said something, I would just brush it off or put it back on them in a way of like, if they would go, "I love your heart," be like, "It's your heart that you really love," it would never be able to like really let it land. And so that's another defense mechanism for people to not be able to, and so much of it is unconscious, to actually receive the gift that you're being reflected in this moment. And just and when it lands, it's literally like water to a parched garden. You're just like,
totally,
everything comes to life. It's so incredible.
I think the thing is such a great point to expand on, is that I think that what happens is that people are really afraid to be that vulnerable and to express how deeply in love or adoration or worship or devotion, because it feels so exposing. So, and if they do it once, and something happens and they recoil, and that's the reason why it's so necessary for it to be a consistent, continual practice, because then you learn how to actually rest in it, because you're not worried that you're not going to be met in it or it's going to go away. This is just our natural way of being. And so we both get to live in an open-hearted state, because we're both just like, shh, water garden.
It's so good just listening to you and witnessing you. I'm not in a partnership right now, but when I'm open to the divine, making love to life is like the title of this, right? So when I'm like waiting around for some dude in a dick, parts, right? But when I'm like, "Hi, life, here's me penetrating you with my light. And what do you got for me today, universe? Like, penetrate me, have your way with me. Like, when I'm making love to life, I'm letting that flow. And I praise my clients, and I praise someone at the grocery store, and I praise and I receive and I practice. And to be able to have that at home and in the world and in our dharma, our vocations, it's just like, there's not enough time to recoil, because we're being used and filled and giving, like, just nonstop. And of course I forget, and of course I get wounded and I recoil, and I'm a total human, but my choice is to be in practice. So this has been so healing for me to witness you. Like, I literally feel it. And I just want to, like, you give me such hope not to give up on relationship, like 2 divorces and criminal assault. And like, it's so easy just to overgive to my clients and just let that be the safe place where I'm going to give and receive all the time. So I'm so grateful for this interview. Yeah. So thank you for the gift that you be. Thank you for the fucking hard work it took, and it takes, and it's still not hard work, but it's a devotional practice in both directions of your breath work, of your meditation, of your communication, of your praise, of your receptivity, of your bravery. I really acknowledge you, and I'm so grateful that you exist. Yeah.
So much. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel
So I want to play with you. I don't know when I'm going to get my ass to Spain. Not for this next training. I know it's online and everything, but I'm in another training. I was telling Johann, but I want everyone to be in your training, and then your next training I want to be in, or come to Spain and play with you. Tell people what's coming up with this beautiful training, why you did it, why it's going to work online, and with Zoom, etc. And let's invite them to join you.
Yes. I mean, this practice I could go literally on and on. It is so life-changing and life-giving, and it hits for me all of the buttons, I think, specifically and especially because it is such a sustainable practice and such a malleable practice. It is the practice that you can do every single day. And instead, there is catharsis, there is expansion, there is inspiration. It gets to mold and meet however you are in the moment. I think that's so important as a practitioner. There's a lot of these incredible practices, which are amazing, but you can reach a plateau. You can get bored, or you can feel stagnant. And in 8+ years of doing this practice daily, with many practices before that, this is just constantly evolving with where I am in the moment, and I'm never bored. And I think that for me to say that, because I am quick and I am voracious for life, I can get bored very quickly. I've never gotten bored. And I think that in terms of creating the space, like we've spoken about, to see and experience and do the really deep healing within ourselves. This practice is so incredible for creating a safe container to meet all parts of ourselves, to express all parts, and not necessarily with words, where we have to explain, but where we can just explore the inner, caverns and caves and portals of our own inner universe, and become so in awe of this experience, and then be able to hold that space for others. It's such an incredible, amazing practice. And having it online, I mean, it's just an incredible global community. We've been so blessed to be working with people all over the world. And so it's really getting us out of our small world and into the big world, and knowing that there are so many people outside of you that want what you have, that want to expand in the way that you do. And we're so passionate about this.
Yeah. And one of the great things about this practice, like Rachel said, is it's never boring. Even if you do it 3 minutes, it's not boring. And because our outside world right now is so interesting. Our social media and everything is like constantly grabbing our attention. So a lot of the old traditional practices, it takes so much devotion, and you almost have to go to a cave or a jungle or somewhere to be able to tap in. This one, you tap in right away. And so your nervous system in a good way becomes addicted to that feeling. You want to do it again and again and again. So you don't have to be like, oh, I have to do my practice today. It's like, I get to do my practice today, which is so empowering. And then as a teacher, when you begin to learn to embody this, and we don't just teach you how to breathe, we teach you co-devotional communication. We teach you how to change your thoughts, how to manifest your life, how to create your life with this practice, so that you really step into embodiment of being the energy that you've been waiting to experience in the world, and then invite other people into that energy. And then through that, you create this ripple in the world that you so desire to experience. And you're not waiting for someone else to do it.
Yeah.
You become it.
Yeah.
And because of magnetism and quantum entanglement, it literally flows to you and for you. And it's, you know, we see it in action all the time, and it's just the best thing ever. And another thing that we're really excited about that we're doing next year is another co-devotional relating course.
Foundational relating course for people in relationship or singles, whatever your relationship status is. It's just a way to learn the art of intimacy and connection and love.
I love that. That's my jam. That's so beautiful. Yeah. Well, thank you for explaining this. All the links are in the show notes. So please, and it starts when again? When are this will be airing?
Starts actually in 2 days. Starts this weekend, September 7th. Yeah. Okay. The good thing about this training is that even if people miss it, because they can join even like a week later, we still let people in because they can watch the videos back. And we had that last time as well. We had like, I don't know, like 15 people jump on like a week later, which has worked out great. And so we're so excited for folks to give it a go and become the embodied, divine, loving, breathing being that, you know, we're designed to be. And we're just so grateful that we get to co-facilitate that. And it's better together, guys. And life gets better and better forever and ever when we are embodied in it.
100%. Yeah. It's like this lotus flower that just keeps like opening and blossoming. Yeah. As you say, you never get bored. And to me, if I was the divine looking down at you, I'm like, oh, we got some live ones. So let's just give them some juice, right? I just feel like the divine just wants to even more have its way with you when you're receptive and you're in the practice. And then you put them all together, and the collective genius that arises when you do it together is beyond anything the mind could ever comprehend. So I completely hear you. So please sign up, those of you that are called to this. Yes. And in completion, again, I just want to thank you for the gift that you are, the work that you do personally, together, and for the world. I'm so glad that I was able to be quantum entangled and meet you and share you with my community. And just one completion about why you love being alive, why you love being you, why you love being alive. So people get a sense of what that embodied transmission sounds like, feels like.
I love what you literally just said, which is I love being an open channel for the divine to move through. And I love literally everything about life, the expansion, the contraction, the malleability, the fluidity. And I love experiencing myself and knowing myself through each and every opening cycle process. It's such a joy to be alive and to witness myself and every human around me experiencing and expanding. I'm just like so honored to be here.
For me, I didn't want to be alive for a long time. I didn't want to be in the body. I thought it was a mistake. And and it took me into my 30s to know that it wasn't a mistake. And now I know it's not a mistake, and it's such a gift to be alive. And for me, to know that I'm living my dharma in service of this energy that is flowing, you know, through me as divine love. And like you said, it is that flower of life that has infinite petals, and inviting the divine to serve the world through me is just the greatest gift, because you get to do it in a win-win-win formula. I benefit, you benefit, the world benefits, and you're like, oh, it's the best, the greatest gift ever to be alive. Like, wow, you know. And so I'm just grateful to be in that flow and to to experience the magic of that.
Wow, you sort of shapeshifted for me into a little 5-year-old and a 85-year-old at the same time. So good. I'll complete with this as you're sharing this. Like, this is your unique gift to this world, and I have my unique gift, and everyone watching has their unique gift. And one of my last PSIs, it came through that when she was in the womb, the dad said, just get an abortion. You know, she's not supposed to be here. And it was lodged. She heard it. Her little soul heard it. And as we were going through helping her autonomic nervous system come back to zero, I normally don't do this. They lay on the bed, they have their mask. I sit in the chair and I facilitate. But I had this, like the divine was like, go hold her. And I asked permission. I said, can I hold you? And I held her like a baby. And I told her that she's meant to be here. She's wanted to be here. She's intended to be here. And in her body, feeling held and just letting the divine come through me and say everything she's never heard. She has had stomach issues, like medication, stomach, like painful stomach, 15, 20 years of her life. It was gone. She could stomach being here. And to be that, to have the privilege, the humble privilege of being that one, to trust, you really want me to hold her? That kind of goes outside the boundaries. Am I allowed to do that? Just fucking hold her and love her and say what she needs to say. And then it was their anniversary. Her husband was there too. So then it was his turn the next day. And he needed to be held by her. Oh my God. And then again, to let it come through, and she's holding him and I'm saying what he never heard. And yeah, I'm so glad we're living our truth and giving gifts. It's just so fucking good, isn't it?
It's so fucking good.
So fucking good. Yeah. Okay. I want to be your friend forever. I think you guys are amazing.
Thank you so much. You are too. Such an absolute pleasure. Such an incredible conversation. Thank you for your love and for your adoration and honor. It's amazing to receive.
Thank you. Humongous love. Well, I'm sure all of you viewers, I hope you're crying like I'm crying, or you're turned on like I'm turned on, or you're just like splayed wide open, heart splayed wide open. A moment when you finish watching this or listening to this. First, sign up for their program. Second, follow them on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Let us love you. Let us be in your life. Let us have that one little, if you're a ship and it's just 1 degree, your life will go someplace different. So take one action today and your life will be different forever. And we're so humbled and grateful that you allowed us to gift you this. Thank you. We love you with all our heart. Until next time on Intimate Conversations, we adore you.
See you next week on Intimate Conversations. Get out there and make love to life.
Okay, I used to think people who were into birds were weird. I remember being on my first honeymoon, and we went to Africa. We went on a safari, and we landed. And I remember getting out of the plane, like on the Serengeti, or was it Serengeti, or going to the Masai Mara, and like I made the driver stop at the first gazelle. I had to see the gazelle. And he's like, ma'am, you're going to see a lot of these. I don't care. Got to see the gazelle. Of course, I saw thousands of gazelles. Yep. But as we would go out on these forerunners or Range Rovers through the Serengeti, these people would like stop and look at the tiniest of birds. I was just so annoyed. I wanted to see like an elephant or like a lion or anyways, I feel really bad right now that I was such a bitch around the bird watcher people, because I like to watch birds now. Oh, I'm so humbled. So in the morning, quite often, there's a humongous blue heron that likes to sit over there in the sunshine, and maybe gets a little hot, because then it flies over and goes, squawk. It squawks like I call it the drunk dinosaur, and it lands right in this tree, right in that tree right there. Yep. And it just says hello. And then this morning there were these white egrets, huge. One flew over there, and then the other flew over, and then they started, I don't know if they were playing in the water, fighting in the water, having sex. Do birds have sex? They must have. I don't know. I guess they have to, right? If they're gonna, I don't know how it works. Anyways, they were doing something, and then they both flew over right towards me. I'm like, hello, and I'm sitting on the balcony up there, and then one lands right on the lawn here, and the other one goes, psych, and it flew off over into the corner. Anyways, it was so fun. I'm like a bird watcher now. Oh, I love it. And those two white egresses, so pure, so beautiful, so playful. That's my little cute tie-in to Johann and Rachel, who I just adore. My God. Really grateful I got to meet them this past summer. Looking forward to meeting them next summer. I look forward to joining them on the stage at Mind Valley next year. And so when you get this video, this podcast, I'm not sure there's going to be time for you to get in on their current 3-month training, online training. But if there is, go for it. I totally recommend it. And if there isn't, still stay in their world. They have wonderful offerings, different events coming up over in Spain. And then maybe you'll be like me. I don't have the resources to get into, the time, energy resources to get into their program this particular year. I'm launching my own course at the exact same time. But next year, oh my goodness, I really do see the value in adding to my repertoire this pyramid breath work that they have developed themselves. And also to be around a couple that is so, walks their talk, does the work, are adorable, and heart-opening. I adore them. So, and I'm seeing out there right now a turtle. Okay, I'm just a little Miss Nature. Like, if it's a fish, it would have jumped out and down, but it's not. It's like, it's still there. So I think it's turtle saying, hey, Alana, doing a video? I'm like, yes, I am. Oh, see, now it's gone. Anyways, I love nature. I love you. And thank you for being with us every single week here on Intimate Conversations. And if there's anything I can ever do, if it's time to slow down, if it's time to feel the feels, if it's time to get back in the body, if it's time to heal the trauma that's been getting in the way of the relationships that you desire, if you've done everything you can consciously figure out, but the pattern's still happening, it's not conscious, it's subconscious. And that is my area of mastery. And I would love to support you in healing that once and for all so that your entire aligned being can attract the love, the intimacy, and the connection that you deserve. I love you.